Welcome, 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 everyone. Welcome back to NAWBO On The Go. Y'all, we have such a special guest today. We have the Susan Hager Award winner for this year, Miss Judi Firestone Roth from our Indianapolis chapter. Judi, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
I am so excited that you were chosen for this honor. There's truly nobody better. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
Of course. Okay, we're just going to jump right in. You've been named a Susan Hager Award recipient. It's an honor tied to one of NAWBO's founding visionaries. Were you ever able to meet her?
Very briefly at a couple of the national meetings when she was there, I was introduced, but not, unfortunately, not that long of time. So,
When you saw her at national events, what was she like?
extremely poised, friendly, nice.
I love
What a
that.
leader should be.
I love this. What does receiving an award rooted in that kind of legacy mean to you?
Well, first of all, when it is your peers that nominate you and elect you, it always means so much more than if it's something you've even sought out. So that is the number one. The other thing is that for me, it's important to me to leave something behind that people can use as an inspiration for whatever they need to do. So when you use the word legacy, that's what it is. It's what you're leaving behind for other people. So it means a great deal. And for Susan, one of her tenets was that as women, we have a great responsibility to help other women and bring them up. And so for it to be this particular award is extremely important to me because that's something I've always tried to do from my teaching days all the way through.
So, what is the legacy you would like to leave behind?
There's actually three legacies I'd like to leave behind.
Love it.
One,
Let's go through all
one,
three.
well, things come in three, right? Liberty,
A-
pursuit of happiness, etc. Right? Like,
absolutely.
so, first of all, I think that as a lifetime member, it's a commitment from the word go that you are going to be there for other women. And even though you're going to get support and help, but you're going to be there to give support and help. So, and I plan to do that until I can't do it anymore. And so that
And
is a legacy I would like to leave for other people.
I'm going to interrupt real quick. Share with those who may not know, how long have you been a member of NAWBO?
Starting with the organization in Cleveland, 40 years this year. 40
Amazing. So
years.
40. So every word that you are talking about right now with your legacy, let's just remember there's 40 years of NAWBO behind all of this and counting.
Another legacy I would like to leave is that as a leader, as a leader both in my chapters and at national level, I've stayed active, and that's the legacy I would also like to leave. That if you're a leader, don't keep on with NAWBO. Stay there as a mentor, but you'll also get phenomenal support for those times when you need it. So my thing is, if you are a leader at the chapter level, at the national level, stay involved. Stay involved at your local level. Stay involved at the national level. And my third legacy, obviously, if I've been a member for 40 years, I'm not one of the youngest members you have. So, and I am
One of the most
retired.
treasured.
Thank you. And I am a retired business owner. But again, I still am active in the chapter. I think that I can bring value to the chapter in terms of some experiences I have. And I've made wonderful friends, even though I'm a lot older than many of them. They've been very welcoming. So my third legacy is even if you retire, if you move, stay active with NAWBO if you can. There's so much there for you. And especially in our times right now, women need to work together.
So looking back, 40 years ago, what first drew you to NAWBO?
Actually, I was in Cleveland at the time, and I had just, believe it or not, moved to Cleveland to start my business, which is kind of unusual way of doing it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we had family there, and there was an organization in Cleveland called Cozy, and it's a Council of Small Businesses Enterprise, and they said you've got to talk to WBOA, which was the organization there in Cleveland at the time.
Mhm.
So I went to a meeting in 1986, 40 years ago this year, was very, very welcomed. But interestingly enough, a woman came up to me. Her name was Ingrid Kuzmarek. She was, I believe, the president-elect at the time. And she found out when I introduced myself and said I was doing, she came up to me after the meeting and she said, I need to take you to lunch. And I said, well, thank you. And she said, I do exactly what you do, and I need to figure out how I can help you. And for the next 5 years, I subcontracted with her to help her because she didn't feel she could do the marketing as well. So that from that point on, it just became something that was very important. And at the time, then also Singrid is the one I worked really, really hard with for the next 2 years to get us to be a part of NAWBO itself. So
Amazing.
um, that's that's what we did. And Cleveland is one of those towns where it's the smallest big town in the United States in so many ways. So
Amazing. So, what has kept you engaged for 4 decades?
friendship,
Mm,
mostly friendship.
perfect
And I
answer.
mean, support for times that have been challenging, feeling I've been a support for people who've been challenged. But most of all, I have made such wonderful friends. I've been lucky to be a part of actually 2 chapters over those years. Actually spent 14 years in Erie, Pennsylvania, where they didn't have a chapter, but was still able to go back to Cleveland on a frequent basis. So essentially, when I moved to Indianapolis almost 4 years ago, the first thing I did was pick up the phone and call the NAWBO chapter and ask for vendors. I would need vendors to do all the kind of things I needed to done from a lawyer on up. And so I had several vendors that I got through NAWBO. But then I got involved with the chapter and go to meetings. And so again, friendship.
Yeah, so much fun. When you think about your NAWBO journey, what are you most proud of contributing to women business owners?
Um, I think my support for all the different things that people have faced. I'm a breast cancer survivor, believe it or not, of 36 years. And
Amazing. Congratulations.
thank you. And over the years, though, it's interesting how many members, for obvious reasons, with just scale,
Mhm.
that I have been able to work with, either their family members or themselves, and things like that. So I think it's been the support of my fellow women that I also had look for women in even in Erie where we didn't have a chapter. I would recognize women entrepreneurs and get them to maybe go over to Cleveland for a meeting with me or something like that. So essentially, it's been supporting women and hopefully mentoring them.
Incredible. You had okay, here we go. You've had a front row seat to how women's business ownership has evolved over the years. What changes have inspired you the most?
I think most women who own businesses today realize that they are equal to the men. And I mean, they haven't gotten that equal standing, but they inside themselves know that they're equal to those men. They are relaxing more. I think there was maybe back 40 years ago, you were afraid of having an image of being too female, if that called it or something. And
Mhm.
I see women today who own businesses much more relaxed and being themselves, and that's okay. We're not afraid to be techies anymore. Or um, we just, I think we have more confidence within ourselves. Hopefully that confidence is seen by the men at times too, that they
As
can respect.
confidence and not being mean.
Yeah. And I do think men today have a lot more respect for women owners, at least in my experience. I mean, I have horror stories of when I first started my business. So it's and even before that. So I think that is one of the big changes. Um,
And where do you think more progress is still needed?
um,
Ah,
bluntly, I think that women can never let their guard down in terms of keeping and making sure that we have equal rights. And I'm not asking for superior rights. I'm asking for equal rights. I think we need to work for it for our children, for our daughters, for our granddaughters. And I think we also need to make our sons very aware and our husbands, brothers very aware of the value that women have. And also, we need to be there to help women learn the balance between family life, their business, and that. It's hard. It's
That's
not
hard.
easy.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that we still have, and I don't think, somebody once asked me if I thought there'd be a day when there wasn't a need for a NAWBO. I don't think so. I think we'll always have to have. There's certain ways in which women are expected to do things, organically need to do things differently, and I think we all will always have that need to have each other. Please, I don't have any problem with men that need to be with men to
Hmm.
understand some of their challenges that are different from ours.
Our
But
brains think differently. It's good to have that community.
yes, okay, and to respect that community, not
Hmm.
tolerate it, but respect that community.
Yes.
Respect the needs of both. These young couples where both of them have very vibrant careers and they have to make choices about locations and timing and children. It's hard.
It's hard.
It's
It's
hard.
hard. So we've talked throughout our conversation today about the relationships that you build through NAWBO. Tell me about some of the relationships that you've built over the years through NAWBO and what these have meant to you both personally and professionally.
Okay. Well, first of all, there's the local. I still have many friends in the Cleveland area that came through NAWBO. They got me through a very rough time when I had breast cancer. They got me through, I had my wedding when I married 14, no, no, so almost 18 years ago now. There were a lot of NAWBO members were there. In fact, one of my good friends from Springfield, Illinois, she and
Hmm.
her husband drove in. So at the local now here in Indianapolis, I'm making friends, which is wonderful. Again, there's things that I have in my background that make it a good fit. Nationally, you have heard of NAWBO Buddies. There are 10 of us that served on the national board together from 2000 to 2005 that still see each other, get together. We get on Zoom once a month. So so I've had national. I would encourage everyone to get to know their members beyond just the business side. I can tell you the husband's names, some of the children's names of many of my NAWBO friends, both here in Indianapolis, in Cleveland, and nationally. So I think that's really important.
That is so important. So, so important. Okay, last question. For women just getting involved in NAWBO or just stepping into leadership for the first time, what advice would you give them?
Um, Reach out to other people, be a mentor, look for a mentor, and you don't need just one mentor. You maybe
Yeah,
need multiple mentors. And you can mentor. You don't have to be in the same industry to be a mentor. We
right.
all have there's certain challenges we all have, regardless whether we're in retail or manufacturing or service industries. We all still have certain things that are very much in common. So being a mentor and listening to another person's challenges, is very, very important. And then when you have a problem, when you need something, reach out to somebody. Okay. Very rarely are they not going to try to be there for you.
Correct. It takes more strength to ask for help than it does to not. One of
Yes.
our family
And
mottos.
women have a very hard time sometimes asking for help.
Yep, absolutely.
Um,
Okay. Speaking of mottos, we always ask you to share a favorite quote before you leave here on NAWBO on the Go. Do you have a favorite quote that you would like to share?
For me, you
Hmm.
may join NAWBO to get business, but you will stay with NAWBO for all your friendships.
I love that. It's perfect. Thank you again. And truly, the biggest, hugest congratulations.
Thank you.
And I'm so proud of you. I'm honored to know you, honored to have you in my circle, and just thank you for all that you've done and continue to do.
Thank you.
And listeners, thank you again for joining us every week. I love having you here with us, and I will see you back here super soon for our next episode. Have a great day.